Hey, what's going on? We are back. You see it. What's good, everybody? Thank you guys for patiently waiting. You know how it is sometimes behind the scenes. You got to get stuff right. And just want to try to put the best possible show together that we can. So, as you can see, I am here chopping it up with the artist formerly known as John. This is Eru once again filling in. My guy, man. You know, he's like MBK, diehard Eru, still Knicks fans light. That's what he is. He's everything, man. He's everything. Appreciate
man,
you, brother.
Coming off the bench, 6 man of the year over here.
Yo, man, you listen. You're one of the greats, man. You're one of the greats. I can't tell you how much it means to me to be able to have somebody to chop it up with me here when I got to run solo. I mean, sometimes I got to do it, but it's nice to have somebody like Eru to be able to bounce ideas off of, have a conversation. And then when we get into the hip hop, to know that Eru loves hip hop, I mean, probably more than me. I like hip hop a lot. I'm a big R&B dude, but he loves hip hop. So it's really dope to have Eru chopping it up. So appreciate you once again, my brother.
No doubt, man. Hip hop police in the building.
right. So we got another dope show tonight, man. We got a really good special guest. A lot of y'all who rock with MBK, you're gonna know who it is. You already seen the thumbnail, so it's gonna be a fun show. We're gonna chop it up. We're gonna talk about the NBA. He's gonna give his opinion about stuff, which is no stranger to that. But then we're gonna get into the hip hop portion of the show, and we're gonna get into his love of hip hop, how he got started, and all this stuff, and his beat making. Because a lot of people, some people know, there's a lot of people that don't know that this man makes some fire beats, bro. He's giving us a beat. Y'all might have heard the beat on the shows here and there, part of the intro flow, fire stuff, man. So without further ado, let's get it cracking with the show. Excuse me. And you know what I like to do, guys? I like to give you guys a little information, hit you with a did you know, because, we don't know everything. Some things I don't know. Let's get into this. We'll be right back. All right, that's a quick one. I know some of y'all ain't gonna catch this a lot, but I did that on purpose because I'm gonna have to explain it anyway. So basically, it's one of them wild stories, and I don't know if you guys knew this already. I did not know this, but shout out to my guy Evergreen G for joining us. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for being here. Apparently, DJ Quik was chilling with Biggie the night that unfortunately he was killed, but he was chilling with them all throughout the Vibe TV show party, and he drives like a 95 Chevy Impala red, and because he drove the same type of car and was chilling with Biggie on the night, he was a suspect in Biggie's murder. It's a wild story. It's really crazy. He basically said, so in a 2011 interview with Hip Hop DX, Quik revealed that police started to investigate him following the drive-by shooting based on a few things. Quik was at the Vibe party with Big. Witnesses claim that the two men were in a heated argument earlier that evening. This is crazy. I didn't even know this. He owned a similar car, a 95 Chevy Impala, to the one that was used in the killing. And so they really thought he was a suspect. And basically, he said, just because I was there at that Vibe party with Biggie before the shooting, they tapped my phones, found out my accountant's number, and went and posted up and waited for me at my accountant's office to pick me up for questioning. Yeah, and it's only because he had a Chevy Impala, black cherry colored, like the one that was used in the shooting. Wild stuff, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is wild.
With the same
I did
color and
not know
everything?
that. That same color and same oh, you know what? Nah, but that's wild.
Yeah, that's
But
wild.
you know, that is a red Chevy Impala is probably a popular car in LA, California. You know what I mean? Maybe, you know.
Yeah, Impala's back, especially the old school, like anything from 70 and before, 75 and before. That's a popular brand of car.
Yeah. I would think so. I would think so. Yeah. So I'm not too surprised. That's a wild story, but I'm not that surprised.
That's
But
like
anyway.
up here in New York and somebody's like, hey, there's a Spanish guy in the Honda Civic. You're like, what? What are you talking about?
I mean, come on, man. Like what?
Everybody got one of those. I'm a suspect because of that.
Yeah, you know, it's wild. That's crazy though. Shout out to the chat. Thank you guys for rocking with us, supporting the show. Please smash that like button. Shout out to David L, J. Rue in the building. Donald Cannon is here. Mega, my guy. What's up, Comega? NYK in the building. Knicks Goku in the building. And Raphael, what's going on, Raphael? Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, Mr. Raps.
Yeah, I don't know, Donald Cannon. I'm not sure if Sims got tickets available still. I know people try. See, that's the thing. When he was throwing it out there, people was kind of taking their time with it. Now everybody wants a ticket. They're running out. So I'll send him a message and ask him if there's any tickets left though. But I don't know, brother. You might as well just go to the MBK website, go to the ticket part of it and just see if you can grab one now. What up, D Coolest? Salute, my brother. Appreciate you. All right. So listen, guys, we are back, baby. It's all happening again. The NBA is back. As Amari said years ago, the Knicks are back. A lot of stuff is going on, man. You know, it's basketball, baby. We got preseason basketball already. It's nuts. But being that it is back, there's a couple headlines, couple stories that are going around right now, and people are getting scared. They're quaking in their boots, man. I don't know what's going on. They're scared of the new beast of the East. That's right. People is like, all they can do is talk about the fact that Damian Lillard went to Milwaukee, and Drew the Damager went to Boston. Like, is that it? Is that it? That we can't play basketball now? That's it? Just give them the trophy. I don't know. They gotta cut it in half. This is crazy. Anyway, I don't know. Evergreen,
Well, fans are already
thoughts?
talking about trading guys for draft picks and just like swamp the season because these guys are on top. I don't get that, man.
It's like, don't play. No, that's it. Nothing can happen, right? Nothing. You never know. Last year, Milwaukee won 58 games, and people thought there was a shoe-in to be in the finals, and they got knocked out in the first round. Come on, man. Anything can happen.
Yeah, Miami's proof of that. Yeah,
that's a fact. What's your thoughts on the new beast of the East, Evergreen?
I don't know if there is a beast in the East, but I do know one thing. I think Boston got fleeced. I'm sorry, bro. a lot of people looking at that trade like it's really crazy. But I mean, you got rid of Robert Williams, right? Who is like your lead blocker, your lead defense in the paint, and now you don't have a legitimate backup. You have a starting center who's not a center. He's really like a power forward in Al Horford, and your bench center in Kristaps Porzingis is hurt. So you lost that and 2 draft picks, like a first round protected and a 2 first rounds, one of them protected. You lost that. Who else? And then they get rid of what's his name? Brogdon, your 6th man of the year, Brogdon. The guy that beat out Emmanuel quickly, Brogdon, that guy, you gave up those 2 for a 33-year-old. I'm not going to call him a has-been because he's definitely not. He's definitely a serviceable player. Before the 33.
The numbers is nice, Evergreen.
No, I'm not saying they're not, but you got Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench at the 1. So that is a top-heavy team if I've never seen it.
Right. And you know,
So
adding a guy like Drew Holiday, that's like your last piece. Is that their last piece to a championship?
no,
I don't
that's
know.
took 3 steps forward to take. They took 3 steps back to take 2 steps forward.
Yeah.
If you ask me, they reset. That's what happens when you get rid of Marcus Smart. If I'm just saying, like a lot of people are like they're like, oh my god, like the Knicks didn't make any moves. Boston made these moves, and I'm looking at the move and I'm like, you know what I mean? Let's not. I'm not really. I'm not. I get that. Like if I had a choice, if you said, hey, who you taking? Drew Holiday, the guy that knows the system. I mean, the guy that doesn't know the system, or Marcus Smart. I'm taking Marcus Smart every time.
Right.
Right? Under that system, I'm taking Marcus Smart every time. Now we have to have Drew Holiday, who's been a damn good journeyman, right? A starting journeyman who's traveled from team to team, made a niche in Milwaukee, who's now leaving that team to come over here, essentially. Or not over here, but to come to Boston to now have this. What is he? Is he having an extended role? Like, is his role that much different than what Marcus Smart was doing? Because if that's the case, they even out, and guess what? Now you lost your bench point guard, and you lost your starting center. Well, not starting center, but your off the bench center.
Hmm.
You
Yeah,
know,
you're just spinning around in circles right now.
that's it. That's it. You guys.
Yeah, that's what I look at it like. I just think they just kind of went. They made some moves and had us all like, "What are you doing?" And then they just kind of went back and kind of created the same team again in a way. I don't know.
I had an old guy tell me, don't confuse movement with forward progress. Right. And that's what that looks like to me. Like, no, they didn't move. They moved. They did a bunch of moving, but did they go anywhere?
Right.
You know, it's like jumping rope. Yeah, you get a little cardio in. So what?
It reminded me of the Knicks too. Remember when Isaiah he traded Keith Van Horn and they just brought Tim Thomason? You know, it's like what are you doing? You basically brought in the same player, just
Same guy.
Yeah, just
yeah. That was weird. That was kind of weird. That's the no lie, B. No lie.
Doliak and Nazi Muhammad. Like, what was the real difference between those two players? You know.
And then even when you look at it, like, y'all know I can get fiscally redundant, right? It's like right? It like, did you save anything? No, because the money that you would have had to pay Marcus Smart next year, you got to pay that to Drew Holiday right now.
Right.
So it's like, what did you guys actually do? Nothing. And everyone's like, Milwaukee and Boston. Like, it's the same exact Boston from last year, except they don't have their center. Unless they got some center in power forward, you know, that nobody's considering, that they picked up from the G League. Because they didn't draft the center, did they? No. So they didn't draft the center. They found out that KP was hurt right after the trade, which means they lost that trade again. Go New York, go New York, go. And then they decided, you know what? I'm assuming they're thinking that KP is going to be ready by at least the All-Star game, maybe.
Wait a second, he's going to be out until that far into the season?
Bro, they said he was done. I don't know how long he's going to be out. But I don't give him more than 35 games.
No, I think he I think he'll be back sooner than that. He just was gonna have to sit out the FIBA games. And he's gonna need a little time to continue to react because of the height. You know, the height is a problem, and putting that weight on, you know. So he needs a little bit more time, but I don't think it's All-Star break, you know.
Like, they said that at Dallas, they said that at Washington, now they're saying it at Boston. Like, come on, bro.
It's tough.
I guess. Hey, if that's what you say, hey, you like it, Boston, I love it.
Yeah. You know, the Dame situation is a little bit more, I don't want to say scary, but just a little bit more interesting. Because you know, if everybody stays healthy, that's the thing. Because Giannis was hurt in the playoffs. You know, Dame has been known to be hurt a lot too. So, but if those guys are healthy, you know, they don't really step on each other's toes on the court. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I like the way it looks offensively.
Yeah.
But you know, once Giannis goes down, you don't really have a solid defensive presence anymore. Dame Lillard is, I guess he's a serviceable defender, I guess. Right. But I don't see that that defensive pressure on a guard side looking strong at all.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but again, this is not to overshadow the fact that Damian Lillard is the powerhouse combo point guard that he is, and he's not going to contribute. I'm not up in arms like everybody else is, and I don't know if that's just like, I don't know if I'm so much of a homer that I'm not looking at it that way, but and this is no disrespect to either one of their games. Like, you got former MVP and multiple time All-Star. Like, I'm not saying that they're not going to be well. I just need to see it mesh, which I think it will, but I think there's going to be I still think that there's going to be holes in that game. I don't think it's going to be a drop Kawhi win me a championship. I think it's like I would say next year. Next year, that's when they'll be really, really scary. Really, really scary. But
that's the beauty with the Knicks. The Knicks are coming back basically with the same roster. We just deleted Obi Toppin and added Dante DiVincenzo. So, you're basically gonna bring the same roster. So we are kind of like ahead of everybody a little bit as far as continuity wise.
Well, I mean, while I like the idea of the familiarity and continuity, I mean, I was vocal about this. I didn't like the Obi Toppin trade. I don't like that he's not on the team. I don't like that we don't have a legitimate, like we don't even have a backup power forward. I don't like this idea that RJ is going to be the power forward sometimes in spot. I don't like that at all. So, while the familiarity is there with Brunson and what's his name, Archie, I cannot pronounce that dude's name, Archidiano,
Archidiacono.
Yeah, whatever, sure. That guy, Archie, we just call him Archie. Him, Archie, and those guys. It's cool to see, and that's actually what I wanted. Not to bring up the past, but that's what I wanted. That familiarity with Cam Reddish, but obviously that didn't work out. But so I like that part of the continuity, but I don't think that it was. Maybe we'll see within the first 10 games, but I don't think that it should have been at the expense of the bench power forward position for another guard.
Yeah.
If it would have been, hey, we'll trade this Obi Toppin for another power forward, or if we would have signed Bobo like I wanted, hint, hint, it would be more. I'd be more excited about it. But I do like that we still bring the exact same team back, and they have something to prove after making the playoffs and going to the second round. So, I'm excited for that.
Yeah. I was a little annoyed by the 2 second round picks. What the hell are we using those second round picks for? To spice up another trade or to move up like we've been doing over like the last couple seasons. We're not really using the draft picks to help us out. So what are we waiting for? What deal is out there that we're holding all our chips for? It still hasn't really shown his head yet. Embiid right now is only Embiid. Embiid's the only person that might be available at some point via trade right now. So I don't know.
Don't get me started on that Embiid stuff, because y'all know I'm down here in South Jersey,
True.
like Philly Eagles country.
Yeah.
Right, Sixers Eagles country, and I get tired of listening to these dudes talk about their imploding team as if it's not imploding right before our eyes. The countdown started with the Tobias Harris signing contract, but maybe that works out with something Harden does. But apparently today Harden was at press conferences today, from what I understand. Maybe the chat can correct.
Yeah.
But he was at their press conferences for their little games and stuff that they had today. So who knows what's supposed to happen with Harden, but if that domino falls, then is Embiid available?
Yeah.
Right. And I apologize, everybody out there. I'm a little thrown off by the later start time tonight, and also obviously taking a little bit more time to get things ready. I mean, y'all might not even know what part of the show we in. My bad. That's right. We in the first half. My fault. My fault,
Forgot the
guys. I'm
graphics.
sorry. I apologize. Yeah. I'm like, yo, what are we doing here? But we all right. We good. I didn't even, it's all right. It's all right. We straight though. But yeah, man. So I'm kind of Evergreen seems to be downplaying this a little bit. So I'm kind of wondering. I mean, like, because a lot of people saying that they think this is like a 2-team race. So in the East, so are you not worried that these two teams are the teams at the top that everybody's going to be trying to catch?
I mean, I think Milwaukee on paper looks well, but why is everybody so hype about Boston? I don't get it. Like, it's the same team without a center and without a backup combo point guard. It's the same team. Why y'all? They lost the trade. Why is everybody so hype about that? Like, and then we beat Cleveland. So if I'm saying Knicks at number 2 based off of that.
Yeah, I'd be so bold to say Knicks number 1 always, man. I don't give a damn about what the Bucks did.
And I'm for the sake of the people not calling Evergreen G a homer, right? For that reason,
someone said that.
Oh yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? For the sake of that, like, okay, we lost to Miami, right? Who are the 2 guys that beat the dog crap out of us? That was unexpected. Both of them guys are gone. Strauss,
right,
and Max
Vincent.
Strauss, what's the other dude?
Vincent,
Gabe Vincent. They're both gone. Right? They're both gone. They did not get replaced by anybody. So it's the same Miami team that Julius Randle hit the 3 on that we could compete with.
Right.
Right? But they lost their 2 competent bench role players. They're gone. So I'm putting us up with the same exact team other than Obi Toppin. But we beat Cleveland, so I put us above Cleveland. And Boston lost the trade, so I'm putting us above Boston.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like, it's simple math to me. But again, it's the NBA. Anything can happen, blah, blah, blah. But for the sake of the conversation, like, the proof is in the contracts.
So you know I don't like that. I mean, control. I don't like about it is the commentary. They're talking about their top, and then every time they mention the Knicks, it's still that freaking laughter. Oh, but the Knicks, like, I freaking hate that, man. Like, we beat, like you said, we beat Cleveland, made it to the second round. Our guys got hurt. If our guys didn't get hurt, we might have beaten the Miami. We might have made we could have been made it to the finals. Nobody talks about that. It was that close. If Julius didn't get hurt and if Quickly didn't get hurt, we could have been in the finals, fam. So that part of the conversation needs to be talked about more. And just because somebody got Dame and whatever, I mean, come on, man. Boston, they're gonna have to go through their bumps and bruises and stuff like that. Nicks and bruises. To shout out to Tony.
Peace.
It's not guaranteed. All that stuff is not guaranteed. That's why you have to play the games. And like Miami keeps proving it for the last couple of years. So they made it to the finals during the bubble, made it last year. So you have to show up and play these games. So nothing is guaranteed. And then how dare you, if you're a Knicks fan, how dare you talk badly about your own team because we didn't get like whatever shiny star that we were supposed to have gotten. You come to play the games for a reason. That's why we have 82 games in the playoffs. Show me, prove it to me.
The problem is the Knicks didn't make any trades.
Yeah. Oh, the Knicks. It's annoying, man.
Oh, man. I mean, listen, I hear you. I'm with you guys with regards to our Knicks and people thinking that because these other teams have gotten better, that means the Knicks might as well pack up. There's no chance. I think that's a little absurd. Like you got to go out there and play, and you already shown that you can deal with adversity. So you can, and anything can happen in an NBA season. So we've talked about that multiple times. But I will say, it's two things. If Chris Middleton is healthy and plays like Chris Middleton, then Milwaukee's a problem.
Yo, we've been talking about Chris Middleton. Ipso facto, ifs, ands, buts, maybe. As many times have I heard if and then Chris Middleton. If was a fifth, I'd be drunk, bro. They've been talking about him since the Toronto 3-point jump shot from Kawhi. They've been talking about him since then. Like,
not a lie. That's true.
We're gonna give up Chris Middleton. He's done, bro. He's done, bro. He's been this is 4 seasons in a row. Even the season that they won, he was hurt.
Yeah.
Right?
They're talking about him like he's Scottie Pippen or something.
He had that one good series. He had that one good series where he killed, and he hasn't been the same player since. So
it's true.
Are we gonna keep like rubbing his back? How long are we gonna keep rubbing Chris Middleton's back before we say, all right, you got a boo-boo and it hurts and it's time for you to go?
Right. And that is true, and that's fair. And that's why I said if he's healthy, they're a problem. I don't necessarily expect him to be healthy. And the other thing is, I kind of feel like Chris Middleton lost a step. He just doesn't seem like the same player that he was before.
I wonder why.
So I don't know. But so that kind of knocks Milwaukee down a notch to me, that they're not the best team in the East, in my opinion. They could very well be. But I just think with the addition of Damian Lillard, he's going to give them a bunch of scoring, but they've lost something on defense, not having Drew Holiday there. And let me tell you something. We've learned it. I think I'm repeating myself because I said this on another show, but we saw the difference of what happens when you got an Alfred Payton and a Reggie Bullock guarding the perimeter for your team. Now, the other guys of your team don't look as bad on defense. They look actually pretty good. Oh, man, they're taking steps. But when you get rid of those strong perimeter defenders and other guys got to step up, and now your centers got to do more, your team changes. So I think Milwaukee's going to struggle
and
a little bit. You know what I mean?
And that's why I mentioned the defensive end. And was Grayson Allen getting legitimate minutes with Milwaukee, because they lost him too?
He played it. He was playing some decent minutes with them.
So I mean, he's gone. Right, he was a part of the Portland trade.
He did play good defense too, by the way.
Well, I mean, he was a hack. He was known for
Oh yeah, he was a beast.
But he played defense nonetheless. They lost him too. So I mean, like I said, for the sake of the paperwork, you want me to file the paperwork? I'll pick up the Milwaukee paperwork first and put it at the top. But I have to put the Knicks at number 2. And this is not me being a homer. This is just me reading the contracts and dealing with the production from last season. Last season, we beat Cleveland. They're done. This season, Philly looks like a dumpster fire that it is. Maybe you can project them to be a bit higher, but they don't have a bench either.
Right.
So,
here's the thing. I don't want to be that guy, but it is the NBA wrap-up, so I got to be that guy, right? First off, let me shout out my guy, Jigga Man Porto. How you doing? What up, Jigga? What's good, my brother? Appreciate you. Shout out to Jigga Man, Phil, and Hector at Morning Brew Sports. They're doing a lot of good things, a lot of good programming. And just recently, they announced that they're going to be having Jerry Ferreira to be a mainstay on the regular Morning Brew show. So that's pretty dope. Good for you guys. And, I love Jerry Ferreira. I love them as Proctor on Power Ghost. And, of course, I love them as Turtle on Entourage. So, yes, good for you guys. I continued success. Keep doing bigger and better things. And, guys, please go support this show. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to King Ja in the building. What's good, my brother? Il Maddox is here. King Ribby's in the building. Salute. Appreciate you. Good to see y'all. Now, okay, if we were just talking about these teams and you want to say, I got to put the Knicks above Boston, you're not in fear of Boston. Boston is a big question mark. I think if Boston is healthy, they're going to be an interesting team, but they're not going to stay healthy. We see that already. And they still got some people that, even though Al Horford is a serviceable player, I think he's still good. He's a little older, a step slower. So yeah, and not having that athletic big man forward type center anymore is crazy. I'm kind of surprised they traded this dude, but they did. Now there is a team that I think is a team you got to worry about. And if
you say that B word, I'm gonna get off this.
Oh hell no, I'm never gonna say them.
Bro.
I will never say that team. But I will say the C word. Cleveland is a team that I think could be a problem. I think they got pretty much the same team they had coming back this season, and they added Strus, and they added the other 3-point shooter from Milwaukee that they had. I forgot his name. They might be a little bit of a problem because they seem a little bit more versatile to me. And let's not forget, they were the number 1 defensive team in the East last year. So, and they got Donovan Mitchell. So, you know what I mean? Like, I think they're a team that I would worry about a little bit more.
Ron,
so
when you say all that stuff, they added the 2 shooters. What they did was they tried to make themselves a team that could beat the Knicks.
Right,
because that's the reason why they lost, because they didn't have proper shooting. So they went and got shooting so they could beat the Knicks. So you know what that tells me? That the Knicks are better than Cleveland right now. Because we're in that franchise's head right now.
I hear you.
I wanted to throw this rant out there too, because everybody keeps talking about RJ. Trade Julius and give the ball to RJ. They're saying that for 5 years now, right? So keep it funky. If you think that RJ is the man like that, and people keep arguing with me about Mitchell Robinson, how he's this big time defensive center, and this guy Grimes, he's gonna go to the next level, 2-way player. Oh my goodness gracious! If you're gonna argue with your own fan base day in day out on Twitter and real life and wherever it is, then keep it funky and say, yes, the Knicks are the second best team in the East. And that's it. Stop arguing with the fan base. Argue with the Bucks fan base and the Miami fan base and stuff like that. If you think that RJ is that good, if you think your players are so good that we argue with each other all day long, then keep it funky and say, listen, the Knicks are the second best team in the East. Or just say that they are the best team, because you argue day in and day out with the same, to the same people. Keep it funky. Talk to somebody else other than a Knicks fan.
That's fair.
I mean, I'll say this. When it comes to Cleveland's issue wasn't just that they couldn't buy a bucket. Their issue was that they couldn't buy a defensive rebound to save their life.
Yeah.
Right?
They got embarrassed.
The two guys that y'all are talking about that, pretty much were the anchor for their paint defense were absolute non-factors on the rebounding end of the floor.
Yeah.
And that was because of damn near Mitchell Robinson and Mitchell Robinson alone. And this is, me and you would go way back with our Mitchell Robinson conversation, so I don't want to rehash that stuff out. But do understand that they didn't make any changes there. So either their centers gained 15 pounds of muscle and have some basketball awareness off the rim, or Cleveland just added a couple jump shooters. What are we looking at here?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe they knock down a few more. I don't know. Again, you can't with the addition. And don't get me wrong. We were just talking about Strauss in Miami, right? So that's a very, very fair point. But again, that was under a Miami system, a well-oiled machine where the next man up literally knows the exact role. He's coming into a whole new system and with a whole new group of guys on his second team, right? This is his second NBA team, because he was Max Strus was a G League player, if I remember correctly, right? He came from the G League to Miami, made a name for himself, and they got him up out of there because he outplayed that little contract he had. Yeah. So again, Milwaukee on paper, the Knicks, Cleveland, the Knicks, Cleveland, Boston, Philly, maybe Atlanta, and the New Jersey Nets.
All right, I hear you. Listen, I can't argue with that. That's not bad. I mean, that might there could be some realism to that. That could be the case. I think that that there's the chance. I will say this. I think what is going to happen, and I'm going to be fed up with it because it's just like common sense. You watch basketball. This is how it should play out. I'm not saying it will play out. I'm just telling you this is how it should play out. I do expect some of these teams to have, a decent start of the season, but I expect the Knicks to come out guns blazing. I expect the Knicks to already have their system down, to already have their camaraderie. I expect them to win games out the gate and be looking like the best team in the league somewhere in that first month of the season. So when we start to, and this is why I'm expecting ESPN and all these other sites to start talking about the Knicks. Who are these New York Knicks out the gate? Look at their record. I'm expecting all of that crap. It's gonna calm down and even out once the other teams start to gel and get some type of sense, and then the records will figure out, and then we'll find out exactly what the team is. But I do expect the Knicks to kind of jump out the gate ahead of a lot of teams in the league.
Yeah, I'm hoping the same thing. Yeah,
but we'll see. And King Job mentioned Atlanta. Listen, Atlanta's funky. I don't know what Atlanta is. They're like the team that you think is going to be the next, not the next powerhouse, but a team you're going to have to worry about. That one year that they played two or 3 years ago, you thought, whoa, this Atlanta team is serious. Then they make a couple moves, and then they're not the same team. Then they get DeJounte Murray, and you're like, oh boy, this is going to be a problem. And then they're not the same team. You know what I mean? So I don't know what Atlanta is right now. So.
I'll say this. Let's look at it because again, remember, I'm the fiscally calculated guy when it comes to this stuff, right? So Atlanta last season, they maintained a 500 record the whole season. 1-2, lost 2, 1-1, lost 1, 1-3, lost 3. The whole record, the whole season, they maintained 500, right? If you look at the way that the East has looked for like the last 10 years, the number 6 team is we haven't had a number 16 above 500 in years. So if we're going Milwaukee, correct me if I'm wrong, right? We're going Milwaukee, we're going the Knicks, we're going Cleveland, Boston, Philly, New Jersey, and Atlanta. That's 6 teams, right? Look at last season's record, last season, and look at where Atlanta placed at. How far off from 500 were they towards the end of the season?
True.
So, and then you look at how the West has shaped up with the movement of Derrick Rose over there, the movement of Marcus Smart. Who else went down to Houston? Dylan Brooks just went down to Houston. The Denver State Pat. Chris Paul moves to Golden State. You have all these little power shifts in the West, and the West still looks like a strong powerhouse that it is. So when I put Atlanta at number 6, it's not just based off of like Orlando, Washington, right? Charlotte, who that's also another dumpster fire that shouldn't be. They got all kinds of PR problems and injury problems. Chicago can't get right. So it's like, where are we at with that team? I get it. You say the word Atlanta and you deal with Knicks fans spitting on Trae Young and then what he did to us a couple of years ago, and that kind of makes people, oh, come on, you really bringing up Atlanta? But it's still at 500 all season. You can't. I'm not saying that you count them out. I'm saying that they are what they were without any changes from last season.
Right.
Did they make any significant upgrades last season, other than draft picks? Over the summer, did anything happen with Atlanta?
That Trae Young series was 3 years ago.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so
people are still hung up on that. Their emotions are still attached to that. They're not our rival team. Stop it, guys. Stop it.
Yeah. That's that. Listen, I'm ready to move on from that too.
Atlanta,
That rivalry doesn't really exist to me,
not
but
wrong.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, listen, we're back. So you know what that means? That means we were dealing with media day around the NBA. And I personally think that this media day was not too bad earlier this week. I mean, there was some interesting stories. And we can get into a couple of them before we get into the second half of the show. But yeah, why don't we just take a look? Well, I'll just tell you guys, I'm not going to put it up. I'll just read some of the interesting stuff that came out of media day around the NBA. And we can kind of break that down. So let's get into this NBK news break. Anyway, to start off, there is Wembanyama fever, folks. Wemby fever everywhere. That's all people are talking about. Wemby this, Wemby that, Wemby everywhere. They're excited about Wemby. They can't wait to see how he looks out there on a regular basis. I think it's a lot of pressure for the young guy, but he seems to be, shrugging it off. He's not having an issue. So that's an interesting storyline to watch. Another storyline to watch is the return of Cade Cunningham. You guys know he was hurt for a bit last season with Detroit. He's back, ready, feeling healthy, and he wants to show that he's one of the rookies that you got to kind of watch. Well, he's not a rookie anymore, but like one of the young players you got to watch. LeBron James says he classifies Rui Hachimura as his understudy. He's trying to teach him everything he knows. I think that's very interesting because I like Rui's game. I think he's got a lot to offer. He can play good defense. He's got a nice little offensive game. He's got a similar build, not build, but like he's 6'8", LeBron's 6'9". He's got like a similar type of frame in a way. Obviously, LeBron's bigger, but I think that's interesting. D Rose said in his press conference that he's not there to babysit Ja Morant. Okay, he said that out the gate. So listen, I'm here to play basketball. I still think I can play, and that's why I came over here. The other thing is he talked a little bit about the difference in climate over there in Memphis compared to New York. I saw on Twitter there was a guy who ran into him, took a picture with him, and said F Tibbs, but I think he was saying it in a joking way, but really kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, Tibbs is Tibbs. I'm cool on Tibbs. You know what I mean? Like one of those, like they're still cool, but I think he's basically saying like it got to a point where it wasn't really rocking the way I wanted it to rock. And so I had to come to Memphis. So that's that with D Rose. If you want to read into that, what you feel about that, that's another thing. A couple more things. The Clippers, this is the final year of their joint arena package that they have with the Lakers. So after this final year, the Clippers will be moving into their new arena. And so that's something that's going to be interesting for them to finally break away from the Lakers. That'll be dope. And I think probably the only other thing that people were kind of talking about was just Philly and how they're going to manage this drama with James Harden, knowing that they haven't traded him and he's still on the team. So that's kind of news around the NBA media day. If you didn't hear me mention it, because it wasn't really that crazy. The Knicks didn't have any wild news that they had to speak of, except for Tibbs saying that he benched the players that he benched. We went 37-22, and it is what it is. So that's it.
What do you guys think about the media day? Because shout out to Josh. Josh was always arguing with us about media day, how you got to keep the players accountable. Man, that media day was no bigger than the room that I'm in right now. It looked like it smelled like hot dogs in there. Like why do we need those media guys in there to ask, hey man, did you take a shower this morning? Like, who cares, bro? You know what I'm saying? We get all our information from the internet. We everything that we need to know is already out there. We don't need to see these guys in the uniforms and taking pictures like this. Like that's like for little kids. It's just like, it's really for the media so they can have something to put in their newspapers and stuff like that. So it's like media day to me is garbage, man. Just get to the game.
Right.
Let's report about what you're seeing in practice and stuff like that. Cut the BS with all this nonsense with the media stuff, man.
I agree. I'll say this, and I've had this argument with our brothers many times. The only way you as a Knicks consumer is going to hold the Knicks accountable is if you stop watching Knicks basketball, is if you stop buying their paraphernalia, right? Stop paying for their league pass. Other than that, you don't have any power to tell Dolan what to do, to tell Tibbs what to do, to tell Leon Rose what to do, to tell Worldwide West to do, not even to tell the guy at the front gate checking in your damn ticket to tell what to do. So you're not holding anybody accountable because you now get to hear what they say and ask a player a question. Like the audacity to think that a question, like what do you expect them to do? Like I just don't get how having a media guy ask a player a question that really is going to be is intended to be a damaging question anyway, because they're not asking about your sister's quinceañera or how good your grandmother's pie was. They're asking you. They're gonna ask you controversial questions because they're jerks about it. That's what they're paid to do. So the fact that they're all up in arms that they can't, fish bullcrap out, I love it. Screw media day. If it was my choice, zip zero, stingy with De Niro, nobody's saying anything.
Yeah.
Go in there and everybody give y'all the Marshawn Lynch treatment. I'm only here so I don't get fined.
That's what the Knicks did last year. The Knicks did that last year. They didn't even have the media in there for media day last year.
Yeah. Keep it like that. If it was the case after every game, I'd make sure that I'm talking to Mike Breen, Jeff Van Gundy, and Mark Jackson only.
Yeah.
That's it, assuming that they're all going to be on contract together. But that's it.
Well, it's a different day and age too, because I mean, say like Julius, they asked Julius about him changing agents and stuff like that. So he threw it on RJ. So I just wanted to be closer to RJ. So me and RJ signed to the same company. So because it's not like surprise. Oh my God, I know you was gonna ask me that question. They already thought about it. Say, listen, when they ask that question, we're gonna do this. And then it's kind of making fun of the media in a way. Because if anything, like social media, it hurts a little bit more than having a camera in your face. Because social media is like your family saying, "Yo, look what this guy said about you. Look what this guy said about you." Then you got to make fake Twitter accounts so they can, get you back. That I think that stings a little bit more than the traditional media.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think that if we can get journalism to be about what you see on the court and that's it, we would have a much better product of basketball without the unnecessary drama like little girls.
Yeah.
But of course, we got a bunch of little girls on Twitter, little girls on these social media streets arguing with each other about nothing. Yes, I said it. Little girls arguing about nothing. So y'all continue to be little girls. That's why I had to take a break from it, because I don't have no daughters and I'm not getting ready to be arguing with a bunch of girls about nothing. So
The
that's what it feels like, though.
following statements are statements from Evergreen G, and not necessarily the opinions of NBA wrap-up.
I said it.
Lack of a better term, though. You know what I'm saying? But we get what he's saying. It's just like schoolgirl stuff. Girls they like to spread rumors and and start trouble for no reason. Say they'll tell a guy that they like and say that he's ugly, he got acne and stuff like that. Meanwhile, they really like them. They're playing that stupid childish little girl stuff. I guess little boys do the same thing too, but it's like whatever.
Because that's I understand what you're trying to say. I mean, there was a time. I mean, I got passed the note at 9 a.m. in class. Do you want to be my boyfriend? I'm like, sure. By 3 o'clock, we broke up. It is what it is. So, like, I hear you. Anyway, so. That's pretty much media day, guys. Yeah, and thank you, King Ja and D Coolest, for bringing up the whole Jimmy Butler thing. I had to talk some people off the let. It's really wild to me. It's like people pay attention and then they forget, and then they're like, "Yo, because people was wilding like, what is wrong with Jimmy Butler? Yo, why is he acting like this? Why is he conforming to what the stereotypical thing that they got?" I'm like, y'all are looking at this way too deep. I was like, did y'all forget that last year he dressed up with? I mean, he had dreads and locks or whatever the hell it was. Like he does this now. This is a media day thing for him. Now this is his thing. It's his little shtick. So I don't know.
Yeah, that just adds to what we were saying, right?
I think he should do it. I think more players should do it. I think it should be a thing where they make fun of media by doing out. Now, don't take it too far.
Be careful what you wish for.
Too far. But I think it should be a thing now where I think that all players should find ways to mess with the media now.
Yeah.
Right. You guys have like said the most outlandish stuff about players for the last 30 years in newspapers, on television shows, right, on radio broadcasts. We should do things to mess with y'all. Somebody's gonna come out in a tutu, and all the questions that you thought you had is gonna go out of the window because you're worried about this damn tutu. You're not gonna be asking about the Julius Randle contract. You're not gonna be asking about all of these pertinent things that you think is important. You're gonna be focused on the black fingernails and the yellow lipstick or whatever the heck. I'm just saying, like, the things that we focus on is so silly, and I love that Jimmy Butler did that. Do it again.
Yeah, it's fun to me. That's fun. You know, you got to give it back to them. Like you said, they've been doing that to us for years. So, you know, come in there with your with the wash and set. You know, with the nose ring and all that stuff. Do it, man. Do whatever you need to do.
He went straight over to Mary Sellers' little hair salon. It got a wash and set and a blowout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a little bit much for me, but hey, he's very comfortable in his own masculinity. So if Jimmy can pull it off, let Jimmy go do it. That's Jimmy's thing. All right, it is what it is. Okay, Jimmy, pause. Anyway, yeah, man. I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's kind of what happened. Obviously, as the season gets deeper, we're gonna go and do like deep dives into some of these teams, and maybe we'll break down a little bit of their rosters and stuff as we get really into the NBA season. Maybe when these preseason games kind of start getting closer to the final preseason game, we'll have a little bit more to go on. Because, you know, right now in the beginning, these are like exhibition games. This is like games for charity in those first couple games. But we'll see where we go with this. But yeah, man, I'm excited about this time. It's that time, folks. That's right. The time you've been waiting for, the time you don't think you knew about, but it was coming, and now you're like, oh, I'm glad it's here. That's right, folks. The second half of the show, it's time to get into this hip-hop informational, talk that we got going on here now. But listen, what we've tried to do in the past is obviously we want to shine a light and acknowledge the talented people that come on the show because they're talented in their own right, whether they be a hip-hop artist that, spits rhymes, or they are a producer or a beat maker, you know what I mean? And so we're trying to obviously give a little bit of light to that and expose more people to their talent, right? But from time to time, we're probably going to talk about some current events as well, because different things happen in the hip hop community and hip hop world as well that, we all have our opinion on. We talk about it amongst ourselves anyway. Might as well talk about it on the platform. But that being said, let's first start off with getting to know our guy Evergreen G here, because like I said, people, especially in this Knicks community that we have, there's a lot of talented people. A lot of people do different things, and you don't have no idea unless they tell you. And Evergreen G is a really talented beat maker, man. He makes some fire beats. I mean, I've heard before I knew anything, I heard him. Somebody played a beat for me, and I was like, "Oh, that's a fire beat," and I didn't know who it was. Then he said, "Yo, that's Evergreen." I was like, "Get out of here!" And then I heard something else. It was another beat. I don't know if it was on MBK or something, and it was Evergreen because Evergreen's got his tagline, which is pretty dope. And I messed it up, and then he explained to me what it was. I used to be like, "That's the jam." I'm like, no, that's not it.
What are you actually saying to clear it up?
That's the G.
That's the G, yeah.
Which makes sense. Evergreen G. That's the G. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, man, he's fire beats, and even on his Instagram, you know, he sometimes, you know, gets in his mode where he's in studio mode and he'll be working on something. There was one beat he made, like I think it was last year or something. He was just putting it together, and I heard it. I was like, damn it, I know he ain't gonna give that one up. That's that money beat, but I'm gonna ask.
Yeah.
So yeah, Evergreen, I just wanted to, you know, talk to you about like how you got involved, you know, with making beats, and like, you know, your love of hip hop, like how this all started for you. Even prior to even making your first beat. Like how did you get wrapped into this whole hip hop thing?
Ooh, okay. I think that's kind of, I feel like that's a loaded question, but
It is loaded.
super loaded. All right. So I mean, I'm from the Bronx, so you know, I mean, birthplace of hip hop. I mean, we all get it. I'm not gonna deal with it in that manner. We all New Yorkers, so we kind of know what's going on. But I mean, it's like any other kid. You know what I mean? Banging on the tables and that kind of stuff, and you know, that kind of stuck with me. You know, I was always, you know, listening to, you know, my era is the, you know, the late, you know, mid to late 90s. You know, so your DMXs, your Nas, you know, Jay, you know, that kind of that era time. But I really didn't start having a niche for making beats until I left New York City. I left New York City. Actually, the day that I left New York City was the day of the tri-state blackouts.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
The very day that I left New York City, I left New York City to move to Las Vegas with my father. I landed in Las Vegas and I could not call my mother because everybody was in a blackout and I had no clue what was going on. I'm like, what the hell's going on with my mom? But my dad, you know, he played music, can't read music, but has an ear for it, and he kind of, you know, put me on, so to speak. At least as far as the organization and structure. But him being from the Midwest and we, you know, at the time being on the West Coast, you know, I kind of got an early influence of, you know, West Coast style bass lines and you know, heavy claps and, you know, their drum kit style. You know, I lived out in Vegas for roughly like a year and a half, close to 2 years. And then I moved to Florida. So when I moved to Florida, this is around the same time that, you know, Rick Ross was blowing up and Jeezy was popping and Gucci Man. So I kind of got an influence of the South as well. So you kind of put, you know, three styles of boom bap, West Coast bass lines, you know, Southern 808 drum kits, and you kind of have, you know, my style, where it came from, and you know, I kind of made a niche for myself as far as the marketing side of things, of saying, hey, let me try to see about doing this for these particular programs here within the Knicks community, because yo, the hip hop industry is crazy. It's hard. It's tough. There's so much bull crap contractual stuff going on that people hear about, but they don't really understand what's going on. So you really got to find a way to you know, gain exposure. And I was like, well, rather than put my all into something and turn it into a job, I'd rather continue it being a hobby. So this is why everyone, you know, kind of knows who I am on the music side, because they hear me on this platform. They've heard me in the MBK side. They've heard me with Legion. They've heard me with Eru. They've heard me everywhere, but they probably didn't know it was me over the course of, you know, the last 3 years, unless somebody's told them, like you guys have said. So, you know, I still make beats to this day, and I don't think I'll ever stop. You know, it's kind of like it's like a drug, I guess. So,
yeah. So you know, Ralph just put dates up there, but it was like 2003. That's when the blackout happened. So around 2003. So you're talking about 20 years that you've been doing it. You know, so well, I want to ask you, how did you get the name? And do you remember the first beat that you made?
oh, okay. How did I get the name? So the name, if anybody's familiar with the South Bronx, I'm from Watson Avenue. The block that I grew up on is Evergreen Avenue. Watson Avenue is, you know, you have Watson Avenue, Westchester Avenue, which runs up under the 6 train. So I'm from Evergreen and Watson. So the name comes from that. But there's a lot of I took a liking to the name Evergreen because of what evergreen actually is. If anybody's familiar with the evergreen tree is one of the only trees on the planet that can grow in all kinds of temperatures, from the hottest of hot to the coldest of cold. So as long as it's not burning, that thing was going to grow. So it has a very significance like here within America. Then when you're dealing with Evergreen Avenue in the Bronx, Evergreen Avenue was the last of the weed and seed communities. For the people that don't know what the weed and seed communities were in the Bronx, and this idea took place all throughout New York City. The weed and seed communities was a program that was placed in the 90s that was designed to help get drugs off the streets. So this is the weed and seed communities was like the pre-stop and frisk. The intention behind it was to try to help get the drug dealers off the streets and have more community involvement with the kids, but they never got the community involvement part because they were so focused on getting the drugs off of the streets. So when you hear people about Evergreen Avenue was the first block of the weed and seed initiative in the Bronx before it started pushing all the way up Watson Avenue towards Castle Hill, Rosedale, Castle Hill, so on and so forth. So when you hear about Evergreen Avenue was that before everything got bad on Watson Avenue, you had the clear part in Evergreen, and everything after that, it just like everything trickled down. So I kind of take a liking to that name. The people from my neighborhood are still there. They're still doing amazing things for the community. So it's an honor for me to still carry and rep Evergreen Avenue, rep Watson Avenue. I love that neighborhood. I hate being there. I hate being in New York. I love being down here in South Jersey where I'm at now, but I love going back and being there briefly, but I got to get my stuff and get back down the turnpike and come back here. So
right. Well, and the other thing, the other symbolism when you could that could apply as well. If you didn't think of it, is the term evergreen, people use it a lot because it's just like, for example, if I talk about the Knicks game last night, right? And yeah, the Knicks won, blah blah blah, to blah blah blah. This player did this, and that. That's that's the show, but it's not evergreen because you're gonna look at that show on the night of whatever. We might watch it the next day, but then another game comes, and then once that game comes, now that game's out your mind. You don't really want to listen to that. But evergreen would be me saying, well, playing basketball is like this. You shoot the basketball this way, you dribble like that. That's evergreen because it can apply to anything. It lives in its own space, and it always has some type of value. You can listen to that 20 years from now. Oh, Ron was talking about how you play basketball. So it's just evergreen is interesting. I like the name for the purposes that you picked it, and for what it also symbolizes to us, in our culture. So that's pretty dope.
And then you asked, do I remember my first beat?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Do I have my first beat? No, I could probably remake my first beat. I remember it in my head. Trash. Trash. Like, and it's not that it was trash because of it was trash. It's trash because it sounded bad. Like it melodically it was there. Probably took me like 12 hours to make. Melodically it was there. Structurally it was there. It had your intro. It had your 16 bar verse, your 8-bar hook. Times 2 more. But as far as like sonically, oh god, if I like I can hear how bad it was in my head now. Horrible. So in other words, I've grown so much with music. I've had an ear to create it, but the hardest part for me in making music is sound selection, and then after sound selection, it's mixing. This is why a lot of your producers pay audio engineers to do that stuff, because nobody wants to sit there and listen to the same drum kick in the audio and the same hi-hat and equalize the same thing over and over again. These guys, they put beats out all day. They play it in the studio. A rapper likes it. They send it to an engineer. He mixes it down with his vocals at the same time, and they press it up and push it out. So everything is streamlined now, and I'll be damned if I'm going to be the guy that's forced to sit here and listen to the same beat that I made for 3 more hours. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, sometimes when people say like that, like it was trash, whatever, it's because of the influence. So you had influences around you. So compared to stuff that you were listening to or stuff that inspired you, it's whack compared to that. But so what were some of your inspiration as far as like beat makers or whatever? And then when did it click for you? When you stopped being whack?
Ooh, okay. When did it click for me? So there's a producer, one of my favorite producers, by the name of Vinny Idol, right? Vinny Idol produced a lot of music for the Locks, right? And I was inspired by him watching his YouTube videos when I was younger and watching how he produced. I think he used like a Yamaha ES7 or a Yamaha Motif, Yamaha Motif ES7 or a Triton Korg Triton Trinity keyboard. I can't remember exactly the hardware he had, but I had some of the same hardware that he had. And when I came across his YouTube videos, the stuff that he was doing, I was already doing. So it's like you got my favorite rap group in the Locks, and this guy, I discovered that, this is the guy that made the majority of these beats that I love from Styles P. Oh, okay. Let me see how he did it. And it's like, oh, damn, I'm doing that, right? So I got my validity there, and from myself, that at least that I knew what I was doing as far as the sound was right. But I think what let me know that I was doing well was this is around the time that Meek Mill was popping, when he first kind of linked up with Rick Ross, and his 2 primary producers was a guy by the name of Jalil Beats. A lot of y'all should know who Jalil Beats is, and another guy by the name of Cardiac, right? So those 2, like there was like a 4-year stretch where like a lot of the music that was coming out of the East Coast was being produced with that same sound. And I started to try to copy that same sound. Like I was into that same sound. So a lot of my beats started sounding like that, but it was taking me too long to do it. And I ended up going to a beat battle out here in Philly. And I ended up coming across another producer by the name of Black Metaphor, who kind of had that same sound too. And Black Metaphor, he made the beat Idols Become Rivals by Rick Ross. He made Ali Boumaier by Game. He made a bunch of beats. But I watched him cook up the Idols Become Rivals beats. And obviously that's just a sample from the Dynasty album, right? He just kind of reflipped it or whatever. But I watched how he did it, and the same exact thing. It's like, I do that already.
Right.
I do that, the same thing that he did, the same way he organized it and orchestrated it and mapped the song out and even leveled it. I do it already. And I watched him as he was cooking up at this live beat battle. And I was like, oh, damn. I should have, like, throughout all the time that I spent in the military, I don't want to say wasted my time in the military, but all the time that I spent in the military, if I would have never served in the military and put this time towards music, I would be at where these guys are at. So that's kind of what invigorated me to, essentially keep going, that I actually had something legitimate here. So I don't know if that answered your question, but, those people, as far as that sound, and hip hop changes all the time. Like understand, people, when you're hearing these records that are out now, most of them were produced last year. They were put out this year. They got marketed for, they marketed and pushed for 6 months before you actually heard it on the radio, right? So let's be clear about that. So when you're hearing music, it's old, and the artists that you're listening to,
Mm.
they're stopping what they're doing as far as creating to do music videos on old songs.
Right.
So this
Mm.
hip hop stuff is forever changing, and you won't see it until 6-7 months later when you think, oh, this record is hard. That record's been out for a while, you know.
Right.
Heard it. So, you know, we just got to be mindful if you're one of these producers that you have to, if you're trying to replicate, and I learned this the hard way, if you're trying to replicate what sounds good now, you're behind the power curve.
Yes.
So I decided to kind of fabricate my own style with those influences from the West Coast, from the South, and the boom bap sound from up here, and that's what you get here, you know, on an MBK network. Shameless plug.
I like that. I
Yeah.
like that a lot.
Well, I see the influence though. The locks. I'm thinking of like, damn, I had the song in my head, but you know, just like the trumpets and stuff they use, like one of the beats you have that. Bah, 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 bah. I can see the influence, but like you said, I could see the other stuff too. I can see the Nevada, I can see the Florida mix in there. You know, so it's interesting, man. You know,
I mean,
you know,
it's really dope.
yeah, these conversations should inspire other people because, like you said, there's room. This like with this podcast and stuff. You know, there's always room for somebody else's opinion. You know, there's always room for somebody else's talent. You know what I'm saying? But you know, like you said, also everything is a year behind, so you never know, like when your talent could catch up to everyone else. Not really catch up, where everybody can catch up to what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think that's very true. And it's dope that you mentioned that, Evergreen, because yeah, a lot of people don't think about that side of it. The fact that stuff has been out, and sometimes in some cases it's been out forever. Like there's some songs that, you know, we find out about organically, because other people don't believe in the songs, or you know, or even with just the beat. You know, a beat gets introduced to an artist, and they pass on the beat. It gets shopped around to other artists. They pass on the beat because for whatever reason they can't hear it, like how they can rhyme on it, and if that fits what they're trying to do at that time. And then, you know, could be a year later or something, some new person hears that beat and tears that beat up, and then that beat and the song itself becomes a hit. And then all these other people are like, yo, but I had that beat. You know what I mean? Like that happens a lot too. So
not for nothing, a lot of the beats that y'all have heard on the MBK network that I've produced, you know, if you listen to when you first heard them on MBK, I've produced those beats like 5-6 years ago.
Wow.
So
Damn.
I'm talking about from the, you know, with the beats that Eru's got, with the beats that, you know, Queen's Course got. Those beats are old. That's stuff from that I've just kept in my little, you know, my hard drives for years. That stuff is old stuff, you know.
Wow.
So, it's old to me, but you know, I still got you know, Guillermo's, he still loses his mind when he hears the beat that's on Queen's Court. Yeah. Right? He's like, yo, the beat is so crazy. Like, I made that beat in 2014. I made that beat.
It's dope though. That's
it is dope. I mean, that, you know,
no, that shit is dope. You know?
Yeah.
You know what comes to mind too? Salt and Pepper has said that they had came out with that song Tramp, right? But on the B side they had Push It. So they didn't even like Push It. You know, they didn't think nothing of it. But when it came out, people was in love with Push It more than Tramp because of the way the music was going. There's a lot of freestyle stuff going on. So the song that they didn't anticipate being a hit ended up being a bigger hit than the one that they was actually pushing. You know?
Like, and then what do they have to do, right? They like, for as far as it being a lucrative business, you got to stop what you're doing creatively to cater to the fan, right. And now you have to continue to push this record and go on stage and sing this record that you don't even like. Like right. a lot of people don't know that that record All About the Benjamins, Sheik Louch hated that record.
Right.
He didn't want nothing to do with that song. But guess what? Everybody in New York was, now, what y'all want to do? Everybody was dancing to that record, and it was like one of the most popping records in the tunnel and throughout the city, and so now they have to perform this record. And they're like, oh, really? Then you start to realize that the music is the music about you, or is the music about the fan? And that's the juggle that artists have to deal with.
Yeah.
As a producer, I don't have to deal with that. I make the beats that I like in hopes that the artist can find a way to express himself on this record. And if he don't like it, then he goes somewhere else.
Right.
I don't have that burden of being stuck in the middle of, am I doing this for me or am I doing this for you? You do it for you too much, and then all of a sudden people's like, oh, I'm not feeling that record anymore, because you're continuously growing and you're continuously changing. But if you do it for them, then you feel like, man, this isn't me anymore, because I'm continuously growing and I'm continuously changing.
Right.
So you're kind of like stuck right there in the middle. As a producer, I don't have that burden. So I enjoy being much more than the average artist probably enjoys that.
Yeah, what's funny about the Benjamins thing is that Sheik had the best verse. I think one of the standout verses on that, and he didn't even like the song. That's weird,
That's true. He did have one of the fire verses on there. So, I mean, I guess that's how things happen.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that is how things happen. A lot of people, a lot of songs we love, and the people on the song killed it. Yeah, I don't know.
And not for, it's like that with a lot of my beats too. Honestly, like the beats that I've spent the most time, effort, and energy on, and that I put the most, thought-provoking ideas into, and I'm like, oh my God, this beat just like I can listen to a beat and I can remember how I felt that day. I can remember the thoughts that I had, what emotionally pushed me to create these sounds. And I'm like, yes, these beats, I've made some beats that have made me cry, right? And I'll give these beats to certain people or give these beats to anybody, and they'll skip right over it.
Yeah.
They'll skip right over it. But the beats that are just the most mundane and redundant that I put in, like the artist is like, hell yeah, bro, that shit is hard, bro. That's the record that I like. And I'm like, all right, whatever, I guess,
Yeah.
So
the records are like your babies, but meanwhile everybody thinks your kids are ugly.
Right. Right.
I get that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's it. It's wild. It's wild stuff, man. It's everybody's got different opinions. You know how it is, and the perception of how you hear something too. The how sound sounds to you can be different than how other people hear it, which is crazy, but that's life. So I think that before we go any further, it might be time to hit Evergreen with a a favorite segment of the show. We've been here before, we'll be here again, and it's Evergreen's turn this time around. So Evergreen, if you don't mind, we'd like you to participate in a little something we call Yes, there's a little something we call Check the Rhyme, Evergreen. And what we're going to do here is I'm going to ask you 5 questions, right? And, really what I'm going to do is read 5 lyrics to you, all right? You get 5 points if you can name the artist, right? And you can get another 5 points if you can name the song that the lyrics are from. So you can basically get up to 50 points total.
Okay.
10 points per question per lyrics.
Okay.
So yeah, Eru has been here for this, so Eru's so advanced now. He comes up with his own lyrics too. I mean, Eru be on it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find one.
I'm gonna start you off with a little dicey one, but I think it's easy. I'm not sure it's easy. Could be easy to me, but I don't know.
Okay.
All right, so there it goes. Safe sex is great sex.
Lil Wayne. I don't know the song.
Golly.
Gotta use that latex before you get that latex. That I think I'm latex. I can't remember what after that, but that's Lil Wayne. Yeah.
Jeez.
I don't know the song. Oh, I don't know the song name though. Oh my god. Oh, I don't know the song name. Yeah, just give me the 5 and let it rock. I don't know the song name.
You want to even try to throw a name out there? You can just take a guess.
I honestly, I remember the Lil Wayne verses, but like, all right. Lil Wayne, because his music is contentless, I don't retain any of his his purpose. He's just a guy that raps good.
Okay, I mean you getting too cerebral on me here, Evergreen.
No.
I just want...
Okay,
I feel the same way
I
though.
don't remember nothing from Lil. I don't remember like song titles from Lil Wayne. I just remember verses that I heard.
I mean, I'm sure there's one you remember that even the kiddies remember. There's that one that got that name that everybody kind of remembers.
Blang blang. Everything going in the city. Blang blang.
I'm just saying.
That
ain't it, but I'm just saying. You know? All right, so let's answer for Evergreen. He says, I don't know. That is the wrong answer. So okay. Now the song is actually the Lollipop remix.
Okay. Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's what it was. So like I said, it was easy, but I didn't want to make it too easy that you're gonna guess the actual song. The remix is what's gonna throw people off.
Okay.
But yeah. So shout out to Evergreen. I couldn't even get, I mean, listen, I couldn't even get through it. So basically what it is safe sex is great sex. Better wear latex because you don't want to get that late text that I think I'm late text, which is fire. That is a fire bar. But whatever. All right. So Mr. Evergreen gets 5 points for the Lil Wayne answer. All right. That's cool. You are already in the game and playing the right way, sir. Good for you. Let me see, what can I do here? Because some people out there think I'm biased and I only stick to one area of music. Let me try to switch it up a little bit here.
I got one.
Oh, there we go. Let's go, Eber. What you got?
All right. I'm just gonna read it. He says, now here we go again, ready to flow again. And if the coast ain't clear, hell yeah, I'm still going in. Get it together, or you be laying on a stretcher. I betcha I'ma get ya, number one heart stressor.
I don't know.
I'll give you a hint. It's the Bronx. Somebody from the Bronx. Famous group from the Bronx. Subgroup of a major group.
Subgroup of a major group? What? It's not a Fat Joe record, is it?
Close. In the same group, same mega group, but in a subgroup.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that's Showbiz and AG next level.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh well.
If I rapped it like him, then you would have got it.
Yeah, but I mean, ain't that what you're supposed to do? You reading it?
No, we're not giving you the cadence. We give you the cadence. It's easy. It's a rap.
Oh, okay. All right.
So in this case, for question lyrics number 2, Evergreen was wrong on that one. Sorry. Okay. It's all right. All right. No problem. We'll keep it going because there's more in store. All right. Let's try this one. So cash rules everything. No, I'm just joking. I
just came from the Wu-Tang concert down here in Atlantic City over the weekend. It was crazy, by the way.
Oh, wow. That's dope. All right. Here we go. Go ahead and keep your drawers. Giving up the claps who needs applause.
I don't know who that is.
That's a tough one. I gave you a really easy one, so I'm gonna give you a tough one.
Where's my hand
I'll read it.
sanitizer?
I'll read it again. Go ahead. Go ahead and keep your drawers. Giving up the claps. Who needs applause?
PU.
Is that MF Doom?
It's not. No.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
It's older, so that's why I said it's a little tougher. I tell you one thing. I'll give you a clue. It's from 1992.
Oh
It's
yeah,
older.
let that ride. I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
All right. It's Ice Cube.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Chickadee, check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mess with Ice Cube at the time, man.
Oh, no problem. So, but I mean, if you wanted to know what Evergreen got for this one.
Wow.
Not much on this one. Sorry.
I never could rock with those guys on the West Coast because they always talking about draws and all this Vaseline and stuff like. Look, you got nothing else to talk about, Ice Cube?
It's a tough time over there, man.
Is that why he calls himself Ice Cube? Because he's using all this Vaseline and all this stuff, so he needs ice cubes to put down the swelling.
Southern California is a very dry climate, so
weird, man. Weird.
Oh man.
horrible.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Evergreen.
Yep.
Okay. Can I read this without you getting it?
You got to
I
give
don't
one
know.
now, man. Throw him alley.
All right. So, all right. Okay. All right. Let me do this. I'm gonna do this one because I like this song, and I think that this will be one that you might be able to get. I'll just try to make it a little harder by not giving you like the most easy lyric that you hear that you can, All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Here we go. Because I thought it would be jamming, but examine all the flosky wasky, awfully sad, and it's costly. But that's all she wrote, and I hope I never have to float in a boat up creek. It's weak is the last quote.
Dr. Seuss. I don't know who that is.
Green eggs and hair, bro. I don't know, bro.
Let me read it one more time. Because I thought it would be jamming, but examine off the flosky, walsky, awfully sad, and it's costly, but that's all she wrote, and I hope I never have to float in a boat. But that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, bro.
Nope.
Damn,
But where you
even
put
with the
songs from?
even with the sped up cadence.
That's definitely
Okay.
90s. Somebody from the 90s.
I feel like I'm doing you a disservice, man. I'm not trying to make it that hard for you. Pause. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say.
Pause was definitely the right word.
Yeah, facts. Oh man, I hate Cameron and freaking Mace, man. They've ruined everything. We can't talk anymore.
Yeah, can't have a decent conversation without that stuff, man.
It's over.
That was crazy, though. That was
crazy.
Okay, all right. Look, I know, guys, you like Ron, you're doing too much, but I'm gonna add just a little bit more. And if you still don't get it after this, then I know that maybe this is just too tough. Aha, hush that fuzz.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's Outkast. That's Outkast. See,
All I said was aha, hush that fuss.
Yeah, but that's you know how
Rosa
you
Parks.
got it. This is what I'm saying. This segment is disingenuous. First of all, You because you reading it like anybody actually understood what Big Boy was talking about in that song. They didn't know the word. They didn't, hurry. That's what it sounded like when he was rapping it. So you got to sound like how he sound when he said it. You reading
If I say it like that, it's gonna be easy for you to get. See, oddly enough, this has worked and people have got it because they just know these lyrics so well. But I hear you. I'm not trying to give it up. I ain't gonna give it up easy. Pause once again. Damn it, I can't talk anymore. Forget you, Mace. All right.
You made it too hard for him.
Oh boy.
That's so bad.
So the song was Rosa Parks. Yeah. I'm gonna give Evergreen 5 points for Outcast for the aha part. He caught that part. I'm gonna give you 5 points for that. So you got 10 points. So you get a partial right answer.
Yeah.
And also, it is what it is.
Fair enough.
It is what it is. All right. So that was number 3. We got 2 more, and it'll be Dunsky. All right. Let me get. Do you have another one, Eru? I don't know. You was looking down.
I don't know. Maybe I'll get you the last one. Maybe.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's do this. Let me see if I can try to make this a little bit more current, because that's what it is. If it's not current, it's a little far. Let's try that. Okay, let's try this. Okay, this should work. All right. Man, I promise she's so self-conscious.
Kanye West.
God damn. Like what? Yo, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, all falls down. Yeah.
Hey, wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Eru just said it. You can't guess it after Eru said it.
You shouldn't have said it because I was rapping the song in my head so that I can get to the hook.
I got to give you another. I'll give you 5 points for getting the Kanye. I'm gonna give you another one real quick. Eru.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Hold on. I'm gonna keep it in the same type of time frame, but not the same person. So relax. Let's do this.
Nice.
All right. Okay. Let's make this somewhat easy. And let's go with this. All right. All right, that'll work. Yeah, this is a good one. Okay, let's see. What are these lyrics? I done came through the block in everything that's fly. I'm like Che Guevara with bling on. I'm complex.
That's Jay-Z.
I never claim to have wings on.
I get mine. By any means, whenever there's a drought, get your umbrellas out because that's when I bring song. But I ain't forget the game. I just rolled the dice trying to get some change. But I can blame my environment. What ain't no reason why I be buying expensive change.
I can't get the name of the song.
That's great because the name of the song.
No. I got it. That's is that December 4th? Is that the name of that song? December 4th?
Is that your final answer?
I'm
not saying it's wrong. I just need to lock it in.
December 4th.
December 4th. Okay.
Yeah, December 4th. Oh wait, can I get another one? Because it's on that Black album. It's on the Black album.
Yeah, no, you cannot. It is public service announcement. PSA. Yes. Sorry about that one. I'm sorry, buddy. But hey, you did get the right answer for it being Jay-Z. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 15.
Yeah.
You got one left. This is a chance to get 25. Let's make it a good one.
I'm gonna give you one.
What you think? Yeah, Ebru, we ready for you.
All right. Ready? Okay, here we go. Bust it, check it, watch how I wreck it. People watch your back because it's just getting hectic. I catch vibes like Count Basie. Suckers won't face me. Got so much flavor you could taste me.
Hey yo.
Pause.
Yo, 90s music was so like
Yeah.
nah, I don't know, bro. I don't know it.
That's Flo Joe, Fat Joe.
Surprised Fat Joe said that.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Interesting.
Bust it,
Oh.
check it, watch how I wreck it. If I said it like
Oh, yeah.
but just watch your back. It's getting hectic.
Man, so sorry. Well, thank you for playing, Evergreen. I mean, that's for playing, but that's your actual answer for it was
Right.
yeah. So I'm sorry for that, brother. But hey, this has just been another sparring episode of. Yeah, man.
Yo, who's got the most?
I think it's a cross between Don Michael Jr. and there's someone else. I gotta check. I got it written down. I don't have it with me right now. I'm gonna, when we get a little further in, I'm gonna put up some standings so people know where they're at.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's
someone else wrecked it too. It was Boogie Black. Boogie Black had like 35 or 40. I don't know. He had like 35. He was killing it. He's a dude that came on the show too. Yeah. So
yeah.
Oh, yeah. It is what it is, man. But
back.
You going? Yeah. We'll get you back, man. This is your first time, knowing how the show is done, and plus sometimes, depending on when you catch us on that night, the lyrics could be a little tougher.
Yeah, this guy's pulling out songs from Tales from the Crypt Keeper over here.
So yeah, man, listen, we got Evergreen G here in the house with us. We chopped it up about the NBA. We got into a little bit about what's going on with him and how he got involved in beat making, how he developed his style and his originality with regards to creating beats. We also have a beat that he did put together that I'll be able to play for you guys, so you can hear some of his talent with regards to putting these joints together. Because to me, I think everything I've heard from Evergreen has been fire. So maybe I'm biased, but I like it. But I wanted to ask you guys, since I got you both here, it's getting late. I want to get you out of here. Just a quick question: what do you guys think about two things? Okay, one. Just real quick, we don't have to stay too long on it because this is more of something that Sim might do on the front stoop. So, guys, if you haven't checked out Sim's show, The Front Stoop, please do. Definitely gets into a lot of different hip hop, current events, and music reviews. What's your thoughts on 27 years later, Keefe D getting arrested for possibly playing a role in the murder of Tupac Shakur? What's your thoughts on that? Now, not to get too deep into it, because I don't want to keep you here more, but I just want to get your opinion about it.
Did you see him actually snitch on himself? Did you see that?
Oh my goodness!
He's been doing it since 2007,
and he went on the best platform to do it too. Glad TV will definitely get you caught out.
Yeah,
I mean, it's no surprise that when it comes to this particular community in hip hop, that we kind of get left on this level of like benign neglect. They see the terrors of our reality, and nothing happens from it. So the fact that we had to utilize our own resources to figure this information out as to who killed one of our greats, it's not surprising. It's not surprising. So good on him for snitching on himself. It took a while, but it just goes to show that justice will always be served. You know, that's all I got to say about. I don't know the guy. I've never, he's not important to me. But Tupac's music definitely was, and may his influence, maybe his music continue to influence the rest of the people, regardless of who killed the brother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What's your thoughts, Eru?
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing about music is that that he created so much great music that he's still alive anyway. In our minds, our thoughts, our ears. People got posters up still. People are sagging now because of him. So his life, his culture, everything he brought to the culture is always going to be here. So it's nice that they put a name to it. But Suge Knight said that he might not even be the right guy. He might just be trying to take the blame for it. But it might be somebody else that actually did it. But whatever, man. All that Cali gangster stuff, man. I never understood it. I never understood that stuff, man.
There are definitely a lot of people pointing a finger to other people, and obviously we all know that they've been pointing a finger to Diddy, because him and Keefe D were in some way associated back in the day. I guess Keefe D was a goon or something, and different people might have reached out for help with Keefe D's assistance in the past, and I don't know. I guess that's how Diddy knows him somehow with regards to that. So they bring Diddy's name up. But the other thing is, Suge Knight knows Keefe D very well too. So it's like you don't know who orchestrated anything. You might know he's involved if he is, but you don't know who's pulling the strings behind that whole thing. So I don't know. Yeah, it's wild. The other thing I wanted to get your guys' quick thoughts on was let's see this stuff. No, let me. I don't know how I'm gonna put this up because it sounds great. Let's do it that way. Yeah. Let's say that's better. I don't want to put it up some other way. People are like, yo, what? Okay, cool. Kanye West leaked audio. So for whatever reason, somehow all of what Kanye has talked about in different times, somebody's leaking this stuff. They're leaking video of him talking about different artists, whether he's talking about Cardi B, talking about Nas, talking about like I don't know who's doing this, who's trying to smear him even more, but they got him. Like it's just weird. It's just weird. Like Ty Dolla $ign apparently put up a video of like Kanye West getting his feet done. I'm like, okay, I don't know, what am I missing? What's the big deal? Okay, I don't care. And this is all happening around the same time. But then the other thing is like there's leaked audio of him talking about Cardi B, saying that she's a machine rapper, a popcorn rapper, she's an industry plant. Then there's him talking about Nas and how Nas whatever, he didn't like the beat that he made for Nas and it was Nas's fault or something like that. I don't know. I don't know the particulars, but it was something like
mumbling on the beat.
Yeah, right. Something like that. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know where this is all coming from, but anyway, what's your thoughts on this, Eru?
Well, I don't like to talk bad about mentally ill people. You know what I'm saying? So the dude, there's something wrong with him. Because I mean, he got $1 billion, man. So he doesn't need Adidas. He doesn't need to do nothing. He is the entity. He can fund and get people to fund anything he wants to do. He doesn't need to carry on the way he does, man. So that's I really like to talk about people that special needs.
Right. I hear you.
Short bus driving and all that.
I'll say this: some of the most creative people that are the most influential with their creativity are the craziest people.
Yeah.
The most eccentric people, the most provocative people, the people with the most vibrato, or even on the opposite side of the spectrum, the people with, the weird like inability to effectively communicate. Those people just have a niche for creativity, whether it be drawing, whether it be the spoken word, whether it be music, whether it be dance, any type of expression. So You know, I don't know what's going on with Kanye West. I don't pay attention to him enough. But I'm not going to, deny the fact that creatively, he's what he has said. I'm the Picasso. I'm that of the modern day. Like, I could agree with that without acknowledging the dumb stuff that he says and the dumb stuff that he does. You know what I mean? Like, so when you're dealing with him, once you figure out how to separate his two personalities, if you will, it makes it easier to appreciate what he's good at and to throw away the dumb shit that he does. So that's the easy
I
way.
hear you. That makes sense to me. I'm with you guys. Yeah. So just a little quick look at kind of like some of the big stories going around in hip hop these days. There's obviously more and more out there to talk about, but we don't have time to get into all of that. But what we can get into and shall get into right now is this joint from my guy Evergreen. So yeah, man, let's play this joint real quick, and then we'll put up some social materials on how you can find Evergreen, and he can also speak to anything if he wants to plug anything or mention anything. By all means, we will definitely do that. So let's get into this track. Like I said, this is an Evergreen G beat. It's you're gonna hear it. So and you're gonna hear his tagline in his usual Evergreen fashion. Let's check it out. Yes.
I like it a lot.
Dope, bro. I definitely like that. I can dig that. That's a real chill vibe right there. You need somebody, I don't know, somebody with a cool, calm hip hop voice right there that could spit a nice, couple bars on that. I don't know who's the right person, but definitely I could see it. I could see it.
Yeah, I would
Definitely
ask you that
see
too, man. Did you rhyme? Do you ever try to rhyme on your stuff?
Not on my own music, no, but I did rap before. So all of the beats that I've created, I create with with a rap cadence. You know what I'm saying? I have a particular cadence of how I would hear or imagine a rapper to be on it, and then I kind of make the beat off of that. You know, starting with the bass line, so on and so forth. So I have the cadence in my head, and then I'll start with a bass line and move around the bass line and stuff like that. So no, I didn't. I don't. Rapping was boring. It got boring. And the music production was just so much more fun, so much more intricate. But with that being said, I got a question for y'all too before we get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Name that sample or name that reinterpolation. That's what it is. It's a reinterpolation. But name that sample.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not the greatest at that. When I heard it, it kind of made me think of a Diana Ross song, and I couldn't remember what song it was, but it reminded me of a Diana Ross song that I used to hear when I was growing up. But I'm sure that's probably not it.
It reminds me of Hill Street Blues, but I know there was some kind of element that I can't really get it right. I can't really get it though. What was it?
Bro, I can't give you away my secrets. What's wrong with you, bro?
I mean, I thought we were going to get the answer.
What you thought? You thought I was just going to give you. Hey, make sure you push that button on both of y'all.
Stop asking us questions, Evergreen. If you ain't gonna give us that,
Bro, I
can't even say it's gonna be a pause. Forget it.
See if somebody in
give up all the secrets.
If somebody in the chat get it. Let's see if somebody in the chat got it.
Well, I appreciate this song too because I look at when I hear beats, I approach it as a writer, someone that likes to write. So you got a lot of little ghost patterns in there in the background, and a lot of extra stuff that I'm not sure if like people pick up on it that helps out lyricists. Because if you're trying to stick a word in there or whatever, just to make some, there's that extra little background beat that gives me a place to put it. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
So that's why I like your production. Your production is really good, man.
Oh, and shout out to the chat once again. Appreciate you guys. Man Child in the building. Knicks are nice. What up, Pudge in the building. A la Wise is here. Salute A la Wise. Long Island Sound in the building. Appreciate you. And my guy Keyshawn in the building. Salute. I think David L was here earlier or not. Maybe it wasn't, but David L in the building as well. Salute to all y'all, man. And I think can't forget my guy Kareem. What's good, Kareem? Appreciate you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, man, definitely another dope show. I appreciate you guys. And I listen, I know the show started late and it was kind of long, but I pause. But I just want to kind of get as much of the conversation and these good conversations out as I can, because I'm going to be getting into a little bit more structured time. I'm going to be hitting, the segments a little quicker and cutting it down a little bit. So I want to, in these conversations with people who I know, Evergreen is well versed and has good opinions and likes to talk, just like the one we had last week with Don Michael Jr. He's also someone who likes to, got the gift of gab, likes to talk. I want to be able to appreciate that and give people that time to get their stuff off. So, but going forward, the next couple ones we're going to get kind of more streamlined, get you around to an hour 15 and get you up out of here. So, but I appreciate you guys for staying here and rocking. Evergreen, as always, man, it's different with you. You're not like a real guest. You are in the fact that we there's stuff about your story that not everybody knows, and even I'm learning about you. But you fam, so it's different. Just chopping it up once again. Thanks for being here, my brother, and diehard Eru. Do I have to say it? Do I have to say it? Appreciate you all the time, brother. So obviously, if you guys look strolling on the ticker there, that's Instagram and X. It's at Evergreen _ G7. That's his socials for both. So listen, man, Evergreen is a talented, highly opinionated, highly intelligent individual who has done a lot, and he gets into a lot of different things. So if you want to follow him on social media, there you go. That's one of his things that is called the crayon box paradigm. That's something that he wrote. I don't know exactly. When did you write that, Evergreen?
I started writing it in February. I officially finished it early June, published it June 28th.
Yes. So, I mean, he's an author. He's passionate about causes, very influential, I think, in his former community. I probably think he's probably influential in his new community too. So I'm not gonna, shortchange any of his accolades. So, and I appreciate you, brother. Is there anything you want to plug or anything that you got going on, or something we should look out for?
Yeah, I mean, in regards to what you just held up, that's my book, The Crayon Box Paradigm. The fraud of race in America. You can find me primarily on TikTok. I'm not really heavy on. I'll jump on Twitter every now and then, right? Every now and then I jump on Twitter. And every now and then I'm back on Instagram. Let's just say this: I see everything that everybody's doing on Twitter, on IG, and obviously here on YouTube. But you find me more actively on TikTok. It's a lot easier of a platform to deal with, and you can get my book on Amazon right now. Yeah, that's really it, man. Really dope conversation with you guys as usual. Ron, I think it's my second time. I think it's my second. But I've been all over the place with with all the content creators. I don't know how I've spoken. At one time, I was talking to Eru like every other week at one point for like a month, and then I took a long break. So I don't know. But nonetheless, it feels like family because it is. And, we can go 6 months, 7 months without speaking to each other and then come right back like as if it was, the brotherhood never ended. So I appreciate y'all for having me on the platform, man. It's a blessing to be here.
Definitely. Thanks for being here. It's always good to chop it up with you, and hope to see you in person at one of these events in the future, if I get out.
Bro, you gotta come out to the Legends joint for the Cleveland game, man. I'm coming up.
Anybody? Well, we'll see. I don't know. We'll try. I don't know. I mean, I might do a half and half. Maybe I might make a guest appearance at Legends, but I ain't going to the game. Like, I'm just trying to kind of, I'm still trying to kind of keep myself, on the low because of, my wife and being sick and her getting sick from me being out there in the past. So I'm like, let me chill. I'll sacrifice. It is what it is.
I get it. No. It's all is well. Well, at least hopefully, like I said, hopefully I get to see you at the Legends joint. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. I got a special guest coming with me. I'm excited for my special guest. I can't wait for y'all to see it. So hopefully if y'all gonna be at the Legends joint, I got a celebrity coming in the building. Everybody knows him. I'm gonna say, what year was Obi Toppin drafted? If y'all know, if you know, you know. I took the blame for the Obi Toppin draft. A lot of people blame me for it because of this special guest that I'm bringing. So if you've been around this community, this MBK community for a long time, then you kind of know exactly what I'm talking about. So this special guest, I'm super happy, and it's gonna be an amazing time. I can't wait.
Dope. Well, looking forward to seeing that and how that. Even if I can't make it, I'm sure it'll be somewhere on MBK. So yeah, man. Thank you guys once again, and shout out to my wife tonight. You know what I mean? I don't normally do this, but I'm spending time with you guys. This is my 21st wedding anniversary, and I'm with you guys. Look what's going on here. What we doing? Man. Not good. But it is what it is.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right,
man.
I'll make up for it.
You need some pills. I got them.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm gonna have to make up for this. Anyway, I thank you guys once again for being here and rocking. And let's do this our own little PSA announcement right after this. Once again, did you know? All right. So, yeah, man, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for rocking with me as always, Eru. You know how I give it up, and I can't thank you enough for just always being available and helping me out, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Happy to be here, man. I like hanging out with you.
Thank you, man. I might have to put something in your stocking this year, like candy canes with I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. You're gonna give me something in my stocking, and you're trying to make it
Pause,
hard
man.
for
Everything's paused.
Jeez.
You know what? I'm just gonna stop. I can't do it anymore. All right, y'all. Listen, and let me not leave without you guys, getting the announcement. Please listen. If you have anybody who's interested in the show, tell them about it and tell them to contact us. Thank you for watching the NBA wrap up. If you would like to be on the show and you are a hip hop artist or a beat maker /producer, please hit us up. Email us at the NBA wrap up at gmail.com or DM us on Instagram at _NBA_wrap_up. And stay tuned for more and more content coming from the NBA wrap up. Still Knicks fans, nothing but Knicks. Please support our shows. We appreciate you. Later. Okay. Yeah. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate y'all as always. We'll catch you on the next one. Another dope show. I can't wait to see who the special guest is for next week. So stay tuned. Have a great rest of your night. I know it's late. 2 hours. Man, it's going to be 12 o'clock. Whew. It's getting wild out here in these streets. All right, y'all. Take care. We'll catch you on the next one. We out of here. Run that.